Hi, I'm Tovah, and welcome to day number 2 of the 10-day, 10-minute yoga challenge. Today's class is more yin-based, so hop on your mat and get ready for some nice deep stretching. So we're going to begin today's practice in pigeon pose. And just take our time getting there. Let's move into downward facing dog. Just taking a couple of nice breaths here. Pedaling your feet a few times if that feels good. Move around a little bit before we settle right into stillness. And then when you feel ready, lift your right leg and bring your right knee near your right wrist. Walking the back leg back as much as you can. So essentially you're aiming to split the legs as much as possible. You could take a cushion or a yoga block and tuck it underneath your right seat. If this stretch is a really tough one for you, that will give you some support. Likewise, if you feel like pigeon stretch is just a little bit too demanding for you today, let yourself roll over onto your right bum and then just kind of bring your back leg up a little bit to start to come into 90-90 hip stretch. And then you could also walk the front leg forward a little bit, creating like two 90-degree bends with your legs. But you can also decrease that angle until you get to a place that's comfortable. So know that that's always an option for you should you need it, instead of regular pigeon stretch. And we can stay at the top, we can come down to the bottom and just relax here. As you start to breathe into the stretch, begin to quiet your mind. So think of this like a 10-minute meditation. As we start to clear our mind, our body starts to slow down. Maybe our body starts to slow down first and then our mind follows us there, depending on the day. But it's that slowing down where we're looking to calm down and cool down our nervous system. Because that's truly where the stress lies in our bodies, in our nervous system. And that's what we need to take a break. Letting your head hang heavy here. Maybe you want to rest it on your hands, or if it's comfortable for you to bring your head all the way to the floor. But just find a place that works for you, that you're not holding tension through your neck and through your shoulders. And even though we're aiming to be still, don't be afraid to shift around just really gently here. And maybe if you explore a little bit of movement, you might find a position that puts you in a more productive stretch for you. Just changing the angle slightly is always okay. Perfect, and we are working on a bit of a hip series today, so we're going to start to come out of pigeon stretch. And we're going to do that by tipping over and coming onto our right bum cheek. And then we're going to scoop up the back leg and bring it forward. From here, we're going to come into either cross-legged seated, just kind of naturally like this. If this is really challenging for you though, feel free to spread both legs out into a wide V. And if it feels okay for you to bring the leg up on top to come into half lotus, or of course to bring both legs up on top to come into full lotus, please feel free to go there. As we let the hips open, let the knees drop, and that can be just through gravity, or you can add a little bit of gentle downward pressure onto the knees should you like. bow your chin, relax your head, neck, and shoulders. And if your body is asking for a little bit more, allow yourself to start to fold forward here, any amount, until you feel like you're getting enough of a stretch for you. And just be cautious. That can really depend on the day, depending on how tight you are or how stiff you might be. It might depend whether you're doing today's practice first thing in the morning or whether you're doing it later in the day and you've already been moving around a lot. So just be really mindful of your body, not forcing it to go into any position or feeling like it should go to a specific place. Really try to listen to your body and just take it to that very gentle edge. And we're not staying here too long as we continue to work on our hip, but we're gonna just take that leg that's on top or the ankle that's in front if you're cross-legged, and you're just gonna walk it forward. So just coming into a long diamond shape here. So it's definitely further forward. It's not all the way straight, but it's not tucked in like the other leg. And then allow yourself to start to fold a little bit more in towards that center space. And remember, folding forward might be still sitting tall and just dropping the chin, depending on how mobile your body's feeling today. And if you notice that your back kind of wants to pooch out to the back, if your belly button wants to tuck in, try taking your hands from behind you to help keep your hips tipping forward. Because as we do fold forward, we're looking for our hips to tip to the front. And that would mean that your belly button or your tummy is gonna go forward as opposed to drawing back. And again, we're just coming to that right amount of stretch for each individual person here. And try to practice non-judgment or non-competitiveness with yourself. Often we're our own self's worst enemy, where we could be getting ourselves into a place that we're overstretching or overdoing it. And then that doesn't make our body feel good later. So making sure that you're not overdoing it here, that you're really paying attention and just stopping where you feel a gentle, mild stretch. As we take our last couple of breaths here in this big hip stretching series. Perfect. We're going to slowly come up and away. Definitely let both legs stretch out here. It might feel nice for you to take a little bit of a lean back, open up through the chest and shoulders with a little back bend. Take a nice deep breath or two. And maybe just start to move the legs or give them a little bit of massage, a little bit of movement. And then we're going to take that series onto the opposite side. So we're coming back into downward facing dog. Again, just take your time here. And when you're ready, lift your left leg, bringing your left knee towards your left wrist to come into that pigeon stretch position, or Ekapadaraja Kapotasana. Adjusting your props if you're using them, maybe tucking it underneath your buttocks, or if you have a knee that's sensitive, you can tuck a small cushion or a pillow underneath your knee, or press the tops of your toes into the ground, and that will lift your kneecap a little bit higher. Find the position that you want to settle into here. And we're not staying in any one hip stretch particularly long today, but because we're tackling a couple of successive stretches in a row, that's where we get a little bit deeper of a stretching action in today's class. Maybe just finding that little bit of exploration in pigeon, noticing if you shift your weight just a little bit one direction or the other. Does that significantly change the stretch for better or for worse for you? Good, and we're gonna start to move on here with our hip series. So let yourself shift over to your left bum cheek and then bring your right leg forward any way that you can here. Again, coming into cross-legged seated, coming into half or full lotus, or again, feel free to stretch both legs or one leg out into a wider V if you have sensitive knees and they don't like to be bunched up like this. Relax your chin, bow your head. This could also be a place that you work with the hands at the back. Again, if you notice that your natural tendency is to kind of come into a rounding position, we do want everything to be moving forward. Hips tipping forward, belly button moving forward. So it's always a little bit better to be in a better anatomical position here to get your hips moving the right way, as opposed to folding farther forward. So you could fold farther forward, but have your back way stuck out behind you. That's not actually better. You would be better off to sit a little bit straighter. Maybe take the hands from the back, drop your chin, and only come forward a small amount. That's actually giving you a more productive stretch and getting into the areas that we're looking for. So just be mindful of that. And then we're gonna finish here by taking our top leg or our front foot and stretching it forward. A fairly good amount here. Make this nice and loose. And this is gonna give you just a little bit more room to come forward into the center. Again, drop your head. That really helps to relax the neck and shoulders, but also deepen the line of fascial stretch. So coming all the way from our heel, up across through our thigh, our buttocks, our back, down to the back of our head. Breathing deeply. Good, and slowly sitting back up to the top. Again, you can stretch your legs out here. Take a breather. Find a little bit of movement with your legs. I do hope that you enjoyed today's 10-minute practice. Short and sweet, but definitely giving us some nice movement about the hips, and that can help loosen up through the knees and through the lower back, shoulders as well. So tune in for day number 3 of the practice coming up, and also, you can watch additional practices or do them a couple of times if you're looking for a longer practice, or stack in one of my other videos from my channel. There's plenty to choose from. Do make sure that you hit the subscribe button, give me the thumbs up, and drop me a comment. Let me know how your challenge is going on day number 2. Thanks so much for joining. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.